Tristan from Fully Charged here in Milton Keynes. The COVID era, in the UK anyway, has introduced huge amounts of people to cycling and walking again. It's been a real opportunity for bikes to take off, and in response to that, towns have been planning around more cycle use. Temporary bike lanes have sprung up all over the place, and this is the sort of infrastructure that may not be available to town planners where you live, but it gives you an idea about what could happen when a bit of thought's been put into a town from the very get-go. So now we're riding down one of Milton Keynes' redways. We're actually going over an overpass, and this is an example of how the city planners, when they built the city, were able to keep bikes away, completely away from cars. This is for pedestrians also, but it's a really good example of some thought going into the design of a place, so that all the mobility options can live comfortably side by side. So now you've got green space, you've got lakes, you've got woods, the parks trust maintain so much green space. It helps to keep the discrete barrier between all the different sorts of mobility. And you can hear traffic, so the road to your left is the A5. That's a major trunk road from London to anywhere you want to go. It's not going to trouble us at all. But as an environment, it's actually very pleasant. Now I know that towns can't all do this because towns are typically in the UK very old, streets are quite narrow. So we're very fortunate here. And yet, as an exemplar of what design can do, this is a good place to come and look. This road here isn't the A5, this is just an internal dual carriageway. The cars are moving at 60 miles an hour. There's an arm code between us and them. You know, it's the sort of thing that puts confidence into cyclists, that they can get around without having to interface with the car. One of the projects that we're just about to start with Fully Charged is to work with a local authority here and to try to track bike journey data so that we can improve the signage around the city. These redways are great, but they don't always run parallel with roads. They cut across, they dive under them and go over them, and they can be a little bit disorientating. So wayfinding signage is really, really important for people to be able to get from A to B. So cycling infrastructure isn't all about keeping bikes and cars apart. There can be a bit more to that, and if it's going to be done properly, you can add on layers of added value for cyclists as a city planner. Milton Keynes has been, as we've already said, has been built around the bike to some extent. And yet they've layered on other facilities such as this. This is a gear change unit which Milton Keynes Council put in place a few years ago. Essentially you've got lockers and showers. Now you don't need a shower if you're riding an e-bike, but it's a nice thing to have should you be maybe going on somewhere after you've been to work and you want to get freshened up. The lockers here are rentable. Electric bikes can be expensive pieces of kit, and we obviously encourage you to buy the best that you can. So to lock them away safely is a really, really nice thing to have available to you. You've also got publicly available tool stands. You've got tools just hanging on a metal cord, so if you get a flat or you need to index your gears or adjust your brakes, the facility's there for you. It's all free. So we're here with Ellie Crease, who works for the Transport Department at Milton Keynes Council. Because of COVID and because of the weather we've had, it's been a bit of a slow start to getting the fleet out, but what's your plan for getting the fleet on the road now?
So we're nearly there, so we've obviously reserved the 6 bikes to hold back for Milton Keynes Council, and then the rest of the fleet is going to be leased out to businesses. We're not sure whether it's going to be done on a booking system yet, or we're actually going to hand over the bikes to businesses. We're sort of going to see what demand is once we've gone out to the businesses who we work quite closely with. But yeah, it's sort of getting there slowly, but hopefully by the end of April, May time, all of our fleet will be out and about in Milton Keynes.
And talking a bit earlier on, we were talking about tracking bikes and using data. We put in place a facility where we can actually track the journeys that those bikes are going to be making around the city. And again, coming back to the need to improve the wayfinding and signage around the redways, that'll be part of that programme as well. Thanks for coming out.
It's been lovely to see you again. I hope you enjoyed coming into the facility. Tell all your friends about it. Thank you.
Thanks very much indeed. So we've come to Woodland Lake, again part of Milton Keynes. We're on a redway-ish. It's a cycle and pedestrian path around the lake here. Lots of people today, even though it's middle of the week. And this is really testament to the fact that people are using open spaces more and more. And as we've been saying through this video quite a lot, it helps people to ride bikes if they're kept away from traffic. Families that have a bike rider in them very often have other people who aren't quite so keen on bike riding and maybe would like to go out with the rider but need a bit of help. Electric bikes are exactly the machine for them. Helps them keep up. Very, very, very democratising. You'll get to the end of your journey at the same time. Even if one bike has gone along the flat faster, the electric bike will catch up going uphill. So I took a look at some figures recently and just did a direct comparison month on month for November last year with 2019. And it turns out that what COVID has done is increased the background level of bike journeys being taken around this particular city. November 2020 saw an increase of 5,000 more bike rides than the previous year. Ergo, the effect has been proved that they've found their way on the two wheels and they're liking it. So thanks for watching this. I hope you found it useful, hope you found it interesting. We'd be really interested to know what you think is the best cycling town around the UK or further afield if you're watching this from other parts of the world. Don't forget to like us, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.